Whew. Gonna give everybody a minute here to jump on real quick, and then we'll do the post-game wrap-up. What's going on YouTube? We're gonna give everybody a minute here to jump on the live feed here, and then we'll kind of start to get into it. Guys, feel free to throw comments in below, and we'll respond to them as we go along here. All right, Big Dog Brett. Just want to go over the end of the game here, post game. I think I picked a score somewhere to be, like 52-6, and ended up being 49-7. So really close there. Of course, the Dogs covered the spread, which I think was only 34 points. But it was pretty clear that game was over at the halftime. It was just over at half. There was no chance of that team coming back and beating Georgia. Georgia absolutely dominated, destroyed. They did whatever they wanted to on the field. They scored at will. Which we kind of knew was going to happen the whole time. There was no big surprise that Georgia was out there just wrecking folks. And the crazy thing is that Georgia has so many different players on offense that can pretty much score at any time. So the defense really has to line up in a manner that's going to, if you line up on Justin Fields, if you spy him, then now you got to deal with James Cook. You line up on James Cook, now you got to deal with Mecole Hardman. You line up on Mecole Hardman, now you got to deal with, Ridley. There's so many weapons on the offense that it's going to be extremely difficult for any team to really just kind of spy on one guy, shut him down. There's too many weapons. There were some really big holes in the defensive front that whenever Georgia wanted to create a crease, it could. There was a couple of times plays collapsed on themselves, but for the most part, it was just absolutely dominating and devastating. I think, like I said, I think I picked 52 to 7, or excuse me, I think I picked my score. My last video was 52-6. It ended up being 49-7. The only thing we didn't get was a field goal at the end. We'd did that, we'd pretty much been on point for the whole score. So I think next week is Missouri, and that's going to be another showing, kind of like what you saw from Georgia, South Carolina. Andrew Locke can throw, but so could Jay Bentley. I don't know that they can run. I haven't watched the game. A whole lot of their game footage, but Missouri probably not a whole lot. That you should throw out there quarters football. We are getting a lot of the second string, third string, and fourth string guys into the rotation, which is really good. And we're still racking up, 500 yards in offense. Some teams struggle to do that even against mediocre teams, keeping their stuff. Offense is clicking. There's obviously room for improvement. I guarantee you're going to see that Georgia's going to put in a lot of work this week to clean up a lot of the mental mistakes and errors. One of the things that I thought really improved from last week was tackling in open space. We were allowing too many yards on initial carries, and I still think that continued on through the second half. So there's some adjustments there that need to be made. But the initial contact and tackle out in open space, which is really key to a successful football team, seemed to be happening pretty consistently this go around, at least in the second half. Didn't have to get Blinky out there to kick a whole lot of field goals, which is good. That keeps his leg fresh. I did see that that final punt that Middle Tennessee gave to Georgia. I think there was a conversation that was had. Can we go ahead and just wrap this up? We'll kneel the ball out if you guys will let us. And that's exactly what happened. It's kind of a mercy killing at that point. Start getting back on the road. Big benefit for Georgia. No injuries. I didn't see anybody get hurt, which is great. I saw a lot of guys from Middle Tennessee seem to get hurt. Obviously, I was a little concerned when I saw the head-to-head shot that Justin Fields took. That kind of made me, cringe a little bit, but he popped right up immediately. So I guess he's a little bit tougher than he looks. I mean, if I was out there playing, you knock my helmet off, I'm gonna be waving a trainer over to come help me out, because that's intense, man. That's a heck of a shot. And I don't think that shot was intentional. I think that was just accidental contact. I think that's what happened. I think the linebacker was just trying to make a good tackle, and when bodies are already in motion, stuff happens. I didn't see any targeting penalties against Georgia, which is really good. I did see a lot of needless penalties that we put out there, one of them being an illegal equipment penalty, which in all my years of college football, that's the first time I've ever heard of that penalty. It was because two players were wearing the same number, and that sometimes happens on special teams. So it's definitely got some room for improvement, and I think Kirby Smart's got a lot of good tape to watch. I think it's really, really important that Georgia is getting these third stringers, fourth stringer guys in there and getting them some real play time. The benefit to that, whether you guys realize it or not, is that really speaks volumes to the recruits that we have that come in that want to play. Because if you've got your starters on the field the whole time, those recruits are going to go, I'm never going to play. I'm going to have to be a sophomore, junior, senior to get to play. Well, at Georgia, once we've run the score up 40 points or so, Kirby Smart's not interested in trying to run the score up as a game in hand. He jumps in there, starts putting in third and fourth string guys, and just lets them get after it and then get some experience. If you're playing third or fourth string, a lot of times you don't get a whole lot of play time. You don't even get snaps in on the practice field sometimes. So these guys that are playing third and fourth string, it's nice to see that those guys are able to get out there and get some experience. Georgia absolutely dominating performance. I did see some sloppiness. I hope it gets cleaned up for the Missouri game. I'm going to watch some tape on those guys. LSU Auburn game's coming up. Definitely watching that. And I may even do a video on that. Just depends on how it goes. But today's performance was what I would consider actually subpar for the way I think they should be playing. And I think the coaches would agree. I think the players had this, they knew they had this game in the bag, and then you started seeing mental mistakes. Cannot have that in the big games we have coming up. Once we start running this SEC schedule, looks like LSU might be a team worth playing. Auburn's definitely going to be a team worth playing. Florida, who knows how that's going to go. But at the end of the day, we've got to be able to take advantage of the opportunities in front of us, and we cannot do that by making these mental mistakes. It's too simple. It's fundamentals. I need to see, as far as Middle Tennessee getting up the field, taking 5-6 yards on handoff carries, we need to find a better way to penetrate. I think our defensive line is getting pushed too much by smaller teams. There's no reason that we should be getting pushed around by these guys at all. We should be pancaking those guys. We got a great offensive line. The defensive line should be just as strong. So I don't understand what's going on there. I'm not seeing a whole lot of penetration, not seeing a whole lot of sacks, and I really don't think that's by design. I think that's either a lack of experience, or it is bad play calling. I didn't really see anybody out of position. I didn't really see Middle Tennessee being able to take advantage of Georgia's of any type of conflict of area of assignments. But I think that there is plenty of opportunity for Georgia to improve. Which is, of course, I'm a Georgia fan, and Kirby wants perfection, and so do I. And I've heard a couple of the YouTubers say that, and I kind of fall in line with that. But at the end of the day, not a bad performance, but definitely could have been better. We got to clean up that stuff. When we play LSU, I don't want to see the letting the ball bounce on the 30 down to the 5-yard line. That's unacceptable, and I'm sure it'll get fixed. Anyway, Big Dog Brett. If you guys, I appreciate it. Share this video. Send it to your friends, whatever you got to do. Thanks so much for your support. And as always, God bless and go Dogs.